on the floor in the living room. We're going to show you how to part and properly put on the color for Mom's hair. So I'm going to use my hair as if it was hers because I don't have a mannequin. But I brushed out my hair, so hopefully I can show you what to do, John. So, I sent you the formulas on this notepad. I tried to make it pretty simple. So if you get that out, we can look at it together. I'm not there, so we're just going to do like step-by-step basics. So each mixture is going to go into the bowl separately. So it's not like you're going to mix all of it together. An N is its own special color, 8A is its own color, and then the 5, level 5 is its own color. So first of all, I hope that's clear. Second of all, if you only have one bowl, I suggest we're going to start with mixture 1 to mixture 3, and each time in between, you can just rinse out the bowl, wipe it down, and start again. On your brush, if you do only have one, I would recommend wiping it a lot on like a towel. That way you get a lot of the product off. If you wash it, it'll be wet. So if you do wash it, which is fine, just want to like really try to get as much moisture out of the bristles as possible. Otherwise, this will be damp. Your mixture is not, you don't want to mix any water with it because it actually will dilute the developer and it won't be as strong. So that's another thing. So if you do only have one bowl and brush, that's fine. You only have 2 hands, so you can only use one mixture at a time anyways. So you'll just clean them in between and you'll be good. For your supplies, of course, you're going to need your gloves. A good comb. I should have left some of these there, otherwise a comb like this, something where you can just part Mom's hair. You'll want a few clips. You'll probably want at least 4 or 5 because Mom has a lot of hair right here in her crown area. This obviously can't be clipped, but I'll show you more or less what we're doing. I didn't grab any clips though, so I may have to go get one of those. Okay, and then you'll need your bowl and your brush. And then I would recommend, like I said, like a towel that you're willing to wipe everything down on, or get you like a roll of paper towels. That way you can clean up as you go. So you guys have watched me do this plenty of times. You kind of know what you're looking for. I'm just going to try to help you guide you through what I do that you guys may not see me do. Okay, I went and got my bowl and a hair tie because I couldn't find a clip. I know I have some somewhere, but found a hair tie. Also, that obviously will work just fine. The only reason I don't use hair ties is because then the color gets on the hair tie and it messes it up. But anyways, so first, after you have all of your supplies, you're going to want to cape Mom, and then you're going to want to part her hair. So she has 3 areas, which is perfect because we have 3 mixtures. So each area will be one of the mixtures. So in the first one is her lightest color. So that's going to be your 10N. You're going to do half an ounce of the 10N and half an ounce of the 30 volume, and we'll go over mixing here in a minute. So that's going to be in this front area, and we will part off here in a minute. The next mixture is your AA, which is the blonde that's all over Mom's hair, like the majority of the color that you see. That's going to be all of this that's light, the rest of it that's light. And then the last is going to be, of course, her short pieces up and over her sideburn. So I'll take my glasses off. So this first one, you're going to part it basically from, so this is all the hair in the front. This is your hairline. So it's about an inch from the hairline. Mom's hairline is a little bit different than mine. You should kind of be able to like see where it is. Where her shorter pieces are, that's going to be in her hairline, all the way down to the front of the ear. So, and again, you'll kind of see where that ends, probably up here. just because mom does have that undercut right here. So it'll go to about the temple, and it's just about, see, this is shaved for her, so we'll pretend like that's shaved. It's going to be a very, very small section, and then you will go again on the other side, and same area, same section. So it's going to be all those baby hairs, all those hairs that are probably stark white. That will be this little section. And what you can do is go ahead and get your clips, section it off, and clip it. Because you're going to want to get the hair behind it up and out of the way. If you hear a dog, that's Cutie. That's Pam's dog. He's just missing his mama. So, okay, so you've had this part sectioned, right? So the next section will be all basically the rest of it. So we'll go from here. Oops. See, this is why section it's easy to grab. You're not supposed to. It's hard to do without my glasses. So, grab this. Trying to do my best to leave out, kind of part it like how mom's is. My hair's just longer. In those short areas. Okay. So you'll want to clip this up and out of the way. I will suggest, she's got a lot more hair than I do, so usually I'll part this down the middle and have two little buns right here, and then I'll clip those because, like I said, she's got a lot of hair. So now she's parted, and so you can go on to your next step. So we're gonna be rocking like a 90s style while I show you how to mix the formula. So you're going to use your food scale. It's basically the same thing as a color scale. They look exactly the same. I do my measurements in ounces. I'll tear your scale and you'll put your bowl on it. It doesn't matter if you do your color or your developer first. And to clarify, because like I said, I don't know what you know, what you don't know, but the color is going to be the stuff that's in the tube that actually says the 10N, the 8A, or the 5 color. And then the big bottle that has, I think it has like a percentage on it, but anyways, should say somewhere on there 30 volume. That is the developer. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here. But so you get your bowl, you'll do mixture 1, half an ounce of the 10N. So you squeeze it into the bowl. You'll see it on your scale once it gets to half an ounce. You'll stop, and then you'll pour your half ounce of developer in. As far as the consistency goes, if mom is okay with you using her baby whisk, that's what I like to use to mix my colors, little baby whisk. Whisk it up, and then you're just going to want to make sure that all of it is combined totally, so there's no like white clumpiness. Like it's going to be a very creamy, it's going to be liquidy but not too liquidy, and you'll be good. As long as you're using the scale, the proportions will be exactly right. So so you'll mix your first one. It's not going to be a whole lot because again, that mixture 1 is going in the front pieces here, and you're really only doing where the new growth is. So where you see her gray coming in, you can, if you feel like it, pulling it through to the ends is okay. Her hair can handle it, but these pieces seem to be breaking. So on these pieces especially, you really just want to get it closer to where her roots are and not bring it all the way through, especially where those fragile pieces are. So as far as applying the color, you will the brush, get a little bit on it. You know, you're going to want to get a little bit of the excess off. You're going to be you're going to go back and get color every time for every piece of hair. So you'll grab some color, put it on, grab some color, put it on. So you don't want to have a ton on your brush because it just gets messy, but you also don't want to have too little because you want it to saturate the hair. So when I do it, I kind of just bring it up on this, and you'll see just kind of like a line of the color here. That's all you need. My brush has this metal tail end. Makes it really easy to part the hair. Yours, I think, is a thicker plastic one, but you're still going to want to use enough force to part the hair so that when you part it, you get a nice straight line. If you don't go in, strong enough and you just kind of pick it up, there's a chance that you're going to get these little hairs. So getting that nice straight line, especially where the colors change, is the most important part. So you'll get a little bit of your color on your brush, and what I do is I pull the front line back to where you see when someone will put up their ponytail, where all those little hairs are. And so you'll just place the color there. I do end up getting color a little bit on the skin, but it's because I have these little baby hairs, and if I don't get it on where it looks like just skin, those little baby hairs won't get colored, and then you'll have your gray, which the whole point of this is to cover the gray. So after I do that front piece, I always do the opposite side. So I'll pull the hair forward, get a little bit more color. Try to put this somewhere you can. So I'm going in for my color, and then again, right at the part and comb it. So you're just going to want to brush. Her new growth is probably about that much. So you're going to want to cover that to there. You want to cover those roots to about there. And if you overlap, that's fine. You would rather overlap than not. So you can overlap where that color is from last time. That way you ensure that it's all as even as possible. Then I would go through and on her part, and then you will go ahead and part about, let's see, my hair's a bit thinner, so you're going to want to take parts to where when you pull this hair this way, you should see a little bit of color on this side, but this is probably a little bit dry. If there's color on it, no worries. Just cover it up. You're just wanting to make sure that every piece of hair that has grown out is covered. And so taking like a grid-like section where you take it this way, you take it forward, and then you cut all of those into littler pieces to make sure that you're getting color on each strand. And that is the easiest way to do it is kind of how I showed you. You're going to want to make sure you still have color on your brush, and you get all those little hairs here. I know a lot of people in their temples have just like this tiny bit of hair that you can barely see on mine, like I just look bald. So you want to make sure and get those pieces, otherwise her hair will be blonde and these little temple pieces are going to be white, and then it's not going to look as even. So then you'll just do the same exact technique on this side, and pretty much for the entire head of hair. But I will show you which ways I part it in order to get every section. With mom's hair being so thick, on mine you can be a little bit sloppier, but on mom's you have to make sure to get the front and back of every little section you take, or else she'll have some stubborn hairs that won't color. So here in the front you're going to do the same thing where you pull the hair away from her face and you cover all of that. Pull it towards her face, get some more color. You're going to want to cover those roots there. And then to keep it out of her face, that's why I leave the part. That way you don't have hair directly in her face. You're not going to get color in her eye. So then you'll want to take your sections this way. And again, just apply where those dry pieces are. So you want to get through it. Okay, So we changed angles a bit. You are now on like a laptop stand because my fan was getting too hot sitting on a couch. Now you've applied the color in these front areas, you can now use that same clip or clips. I'm going to just tuck my hair and we're going to pretend like all that is shaved and up there. So now you should have gone and cleaned your bowl and brush, and then you'll go in and you'll mix your mixture number 2, which is going to be your 8A with the 30 volume. Just realized I put 2 ounces of each. Okay, we're going to scratch that, and I will make sure to message you. You need 1 ounce of each to make 2 total ounces. So cut that 1 in half. Mom has a lot of hair, but not 4 ounces worth for just her roots. So you're going to mix the 8A with 30 volume, 1 ounce of each, again, on your scale. Same thing, mix it up. Come back, and now you're going to work in this middle quadrant. So again, what I like to do is cut this quadrant into 2. It's going to be interesting. Okay. So basically, this should be down the middle. And then you'll have these 2 quadrants. That's what they're called, quadrants. So anyways, doing this video, I realize how long my hair is. Okay, so I'm going to try not to make the Auntie Greta face. Okay, so with this mixture, I'll just have to look down for it. Okay, so what I like to do, again, is pull this back, and you don't have to handle it all in your hand either. For the first part I hold that whole section in my hand so I can really see where this part is, and I make sure to, again, cover from that part to the end of where her roots are. So you're going to brush and cover that whole piece. Then I like to go down the middle and cover it that way, and then I'll pull that quadrant up, and the line that should be right above where her hair is shaved, that line, you'll go up into that quadrant. Then what I do is I let this hair down, and you're going to take about 1/4 of an inch sections, and you could do at an angle. I do it because if I do it at an angle, I make sure that there's color from the scalp to the end of her roots here, and then I pull it over. But notice that when I pull it over, this hair is going to be landing on this quadrant, which is also going to be that same color. If I put it on this side, now this color could get into this front. And this color is a little bit darker than the front color, so we don't really want that darker color to get on the lighter color. And so I do it at an angle, and I pull it to the side, and then again, I cover from where that part is to the end of her root. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way down so that all of this quadrant is colored. Again, I use the end of my color brush to make those parts and make sure that all of it is colored all the way down. So you'll do that in those little sections all the way down until you meet where you put that color at first. So that the first initial, kind of like coloring a book. You take the color and you outline it first. So that's pretty much what I did. Is I outlined this quadrant, and then I went in and I colored all through it. So you'll go in and you'll do the exact same thing on the other side. And once that's all colored, you'll go in with the back color, the dark color. Again, I just twist up her hair, or anybody's hair, and that gets it right out of my way. That way I can see all of this hair that needs to be colored. Again, mine is longer, but you get the gist. So you'll do the exact same thing. Go clean your bowl, remix this color. This is going to be the darkest color. I did give you 1 ounce of each, so you'll have 2 ounces total. It is going to be kind of a lot. However, I noticed that with the darker color, it fades out quicker. So her gray starts coming through, especially on the ends, and it kind of looks dull. So what you're going to do for this, for the darkest colors, you're going to want to go from root to ends. So really cover every bit of that shaved part. I do suggest on her, in the front where the sideburns are, go ahead and start there first, so that way they get to sit on just a little bit longer. You won't put your, I would say at this point, after you've done the 2 blondes, start a timer for 45 minutes. You're going to want it to go ahead and process through that. But the darkest color doesn't need to sit on nearly as long because it is darker. It more so needs just 30 minutes, and so this should take you, I mean, it shouldn't take you a full 15 minutes, but if it does, that's okay, and then you'll still have enough time for this to completely process, to catch up with this, give you that a little bit of time to prepare to shampoo her out. So you'll mix your dark color, or the last, mixture 3, the darkest color. You're going to want to get a little bit on your brush. You don't want to get too much at first, because what you're going to do is you're going to go where her sideburn area is. And I know that it's short, so it's kind of hard, but let's see, if you have any clips, I would clip up this part here, and you're going to want to brush against the way that her hair grows in order to get the color on all of those pieces, because that's where it's gray, it's a lot coarser, it's thicker, so it's not as, so if you were to just brush it down this way, you're not going to get it all, and when you rinse it out, you'll notice that there's going to be gray pieces. So to ensure that you don't, you can brush the color on both down, but also go ahead and use, okay, so let's see if so you're going to use the brush this way, and you're going to brush up instead of this way. This way is going to get a lot of color on her face, you see. So if I turn my brush to be more precise, then that way I can just get right here and I brush into here. The same with around her ear. The hair is shorter, so it's harder to get to. You're going to want to go in at the opposite direction of the way that her hair grows and brush up. And that'll help get all of those little hairs that are going to show the gray the fastest. It's going to get all that color on there. And then to kind of help keep the sections, I would brush up first, or you can do brush up last, but at the very end of that, when you're done with this part around her ear, go ahead and brush it down or kind of comb it towards the bottom of her neck. That way those dark pieces don't get up into this blonde part and you don't get bleeding. So you're going to want to do the same thing around her neck. Again, always try to go against the growth first and then on the top. I would outline again, same thing that you do on all of it. Outline the area first. So I would outline this whole area, have her look down, really brush that color in, up, because you can always, right when you're done with this step, you can always go in with a paper towel and clean up the color that's gotten on her skin, and you can tell that that's not quite where her hairline is. You can just clean that up right away and it won't stain. But that way you're getting the hair and you're worrying about her skin second. It's not going to bother it to be there for a minute or two if you're going to get sloppy with it. Like I said, you just always go back and you clean it up. If you have a wet wipe or a makeup remover, you could also use that. So then after you've outlined it, I still part that section down the middle and outline again, you know, right here and right here, pretending that this is the back of my head. And then same thing, you'll go horizontal sections down the back, 1/4 of an inch. The only difference is with this part, when you do it, you'll grab the 1/4 inch section, you'll get the roots first. See how I'm holding this? You'll flip it, get the roots here, then you'll flip it back, put your hand under, you'll brush the color on. What I don't want you to do is try and use a tiny bit of color when it comes to this part. Go ahead and, dip in for a little bit of color for the roots and then dip in for a little bit of color for the ends. That's gotta be, you're gonna want to really saturate that. You want to get both sides. Again, with mom's hair being completely gray and being so coarse and thick, you're gonna want to make sure that you have it on both sides so that you have even saturation and you don't have any splotchy or blotchiness. So at this point, once you finish getting that color on, she should be have that timer on, processing for another about 30-35 minutes, depending on how long it takes you to get the rest of that all applied to her hair. And then I would just clean up anywhere that you see that the color is on her skin so it doesn't stain it. Mostly where the dark pieces are, the light pieces aren't going to stain. My suggestion for shampooing would be to, if you're going to go ahead and do it in the sink, first you'll want to rinse out the lightest color. So get as much as you can, from rinsing the front of her hairline back. And then what you'll want to do is kind of pull up all that length. You can even put it in a clip if that helps you control the hair better. Pull up that length, and then you're going to want to rinse all down here where that short hair is. When you do it and she's laying in the sink, it can be kind of hard to get under there, but if you hold her head up and kind of use a spray nozzle, direct it towards her neck, you should be good. Go ahead and get all that rinsed out. Shampoo twice. The first time to get out any leftover color, and then the second time to just ensure that everything is nice and clean, ready to go. There's absolutely no residual color. You're going to want to rinse around her ears, in her ears, just in case if you got sloppy with it, and then around her hairline. If you don't get that hair through here, have her take a shower, flip her hair over, and really scrub it. It could just kind of get itchy and irritate the skin, so you want to get it off as soon as possible. And then condition it really well. You can use the purple Arctic box thing that I left you, John, to condition her blonde areas. Leave it on for like a minute or two, rinse it out, and then do her regular conditioner all over. The purple just kind of helps tone out any of those yellowy, brassy colors that you might get. But other than that, you'll be good to go. Having a wonderful, fabulous day. And I love you so much. And hi to my Millie Bear. We miss her so, so much. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.